Halo. Unreal Tournament. Portal. These are games you're going to hear comparisons about when it comes to discourse about Splitgate. But does Splitgate live up to these titans of gaming's past? Well, no, not really. The first thing you'll see once you boot up the game after waiting in queue for a little bit is the main menu that screams meh. It's not as slick and intuitive as other AAA offerings, but it gets the job done. The other thing you'll notice right away is you, the character. This is you, a generic ass space marine that looks like a B-tier G.I. Joe from 1994. Now, it's a first person game where you'll almost never see yourself, so it doesn't really matter, right? Well, that would be true if the character progression system was more innovative, but it isn't really. It does what every other game does, right? It has you slowly accrue currency as you play in order to pay for skins to change how your character and weapons look. And of course there's a paid currency which you can go and buy, and the best value is going to be the big heap of gold and all that. I don't want to harp too much on the free-to-play aspect. They obviously did invent it. It's in many games. I just think that if you're going to rely on it, then you should make your skins look better. You need people to be invested in the character that they're trying to upgrade, especially if they have to invest quite a bit of time or the hard-earned money to upgrade it. Something like Phantasy Star Online 2 comes to mind. With the lack of content in the newest iteration of that game, New Genesis, their subreddit is still popping off with people spamming their latest attempts at cosplaying characters and whatnot. I don't expect a shooter to have that deep of a level of visual customization, but if the skins are ugly, no one's going to be incentivized to pump money into the game. I will say, some of the newer paid ones are a little better, and the weapon models I'd say are, alright looking. But it might not even matter which gun you're using because you may be playing against a hacker. I'm not sure exactly how prevalent the hacking scene is, but there definitely are some people hacking in the game, which is to be expected with any modern online competitive game. 1047 Games, the dev team behind Splitgate, claim they're on it though, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But enough of that. What's it like to actually play the game? Well, it's stupendously fun, to be honest. The basic movement and shooting feels on point and accurate. The game makes you feel confident enough to just shoot from the hip, even for long-range shots. And it doesn't hurt that there isn't really much of a penalty in terms of bullet drop and damage reduction in relation to distance to your target. The game of course uses portals, but it doesn't rely on it as like a gimmick to prop up the gameplay experience like you might expect. In fact, you probably have to remind yourself that the portals exist and that you should be utilizing them. Because once you start playing the game, it kind of feels like an old glove. Once you settle in, you'll just instinctually play as you would any normal portal-less shooter. Like other shooters, this game has modes. Lots of modes. Most of them ripped straight from its inspirations, but I think that's for the best. While it's good to innovate when you can, why throw out what works? Modes such as Oddball, where you compete against the other team to grab a ball and hold it longer than them, takes on interesting new strategies once portals are involved. There's also a VIP mode, where one player on your team is designated the VIP and must be protected. And the use of portals really changes that dynamic as well, because other games have VIP modes, but you just rush their VIP or defend yours. But now you can use the portals to move your guy around the map and kind of keep him away from harm. Honestly though, the core gameplay is so fun and the level design is so interesting that I really just like to dig into the more traditional modes and just kill people. Think about it. The dev team not only has to come up with good competitive FPS maps, but they also had to make sure that they could be portaled around in fun and interesting ways. And they accomplished that. Every map offers both interesting visual elements and themes, as well as unique ways to use portals. Some might have more verticality, while others maybe have many, hidden corners or isolated platforms. All these different designs ingeniously force the player to adopt different portaling techniques depending on which map they're on. This also leads to little unexpected moments of fun. For instance, you maybe find yourself falling from a platform thinking you're done for, but then you see a small platform. The next thing you know, you're flying across a map, and then something triggers in your brain like, oh my god, I can move around these maps and get to these other places, in ways I wasn't thinking about. And the game just kind of builds from there. So, does Splitgate revolutionize the genre like the Halos, Unreal Tournaments, or Portals it's often compared with? No, it doesn't. But what it does do is learn from those games and take aspects of them that are proven and fun and mixes them together with great care and skill, resulting in a damn fun game. And I'm more than happy with that.